Welcome! What's up?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Midwest Anime. These are our reaction videos. We're still on Crap Guide to D&D. We're on the next two episodes. The next episode we are doing is Ranger. So let's get into...
Before you start, do you like how I did that? Give us a like, subscribe to our channel, go to JoCat's channel, give him a like and subscribe. Tell your friends, share it out with your friends and people you may not like but are friends with anyway because you like to keep tabs on the people you hate. Is that fair?
Alright. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Now we can start.
Let's begin.
Just play a fighter with a bow, it's way better. Alright, fine, I'll talk about the class. Ranger is the other of the bisexual style of classes, where it likes fighter, but it also likes druid and flips between the two depending on which...
That was a good start.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's true, though, essentially. Like,
Yeah.
Fighter has the better stats out of the two.
Rangers are more glass cannon-y.
Yeah.
And bows are kind of
For
pointless in
Ranger,
D&D.
essentially think Legolas from Lord of the Rings.
Think of like the guy who like when is tracking an animal like puts his finger into the footprint and then like smells it and is like, oh, they traveled southeast and then continues that way. Like, think that.
Yeah,
That's a
they're the hunters essentially of.
Yeah.
They could be like renamed Hunter almost.
Yeah. Think of if you were going into a fight, the last person you would pick, and that's the Ranger.
Yeah, the rangy glass cannon. We'll just put it that way.
I mean, we're not talking about, the gunslinger, because that's a literal glass cannon.
Yeah.
one looks cuter at the moment. Hell, it even steals a few things from Rogue because it's so indecisive. And despite the name Ranger, you're not actually restricted to use any sort of ranged weapon in order to be effective. As far as combat goes, you get the usual fighter but not really fighter set of features. Fighting style, all weapons, extra attack, spell casting, D10 hit die, hey Macarena. From Rogues, it steals the ability to channel your inner chameleon and blend into the environment. Except instead of hiding in the shadows and watching where you step, it's more like putting on makeup, so you need to take some time, have a good look in the mirror, maybe look up some tutorials while you're at it, then start over when you realize you were using the wrong shade of foundation. From Druid, it steals some of that being one with nature flavor it's got going on and a whole lot of spells, but not with...
We're not glossing past that.
Okay. I've seen her videos. They're funny.
You watch makeup videos?
No. She doesn't do just makeup videos. She does just a lot of comedy videos, and she did... I fell down a rabbit hole once.
Okay.
On the internet.
Okay.
Because YouTube is a beautiful place.
Okay.
It started with a video of her going to the dollar store and then comparing all the products she found at the dollar store, and then she went to Target and see what was cheaper. And it was a bottle of like Ajax, and it was like 9 cents cheaper at the dollar store. So she left Target and drove back to the dollar store, which was so funny because of the gas that she spent was way more than 9 cents. And then got the dollar compared to the $1.09. And so I was told by my significant other, hey, you need to watch the rest of her videos. She has this really funny makeup one. And it was actually pretty funny.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you who the hell she is, though.
You receive a pass.
Yeah.
Without a few exclusive spells of its own, like having a target explode a bunch of thorns when hit with a ranged attack, plant arrows in the ground and turn them into proximity-based fireworks, except the gunpowder is magic and the lights are bits of enemy brains, and single-handedly the objectively best ranger spell, Swift Quiver. Not for the unlimited ammo, that's dumb, nobody keeps track of their arrows anyway, but because it turns your ranged weapon into a rapid-fire machine gun. But Joseph, you said you don't need to use a ranged weapon to be effective as a ranger. Those all sound like ranged weapon exclusive spells. That may be true, however... Anyway, when it comes to actual unique ranger features, you can use the power of racism to decide what kind of creatures you're going to perform extra potent hate crimes on, and preferred terrain, where you can pick your favorite environment, and after trotting around picking flowers or litter, depending on what it is, you can become a fantasy Bear Grylls, which is basically real-life Bear Grylls, except with a kobold crew filming you instead. And if you worry that that sounds too situational, and that if you picked a forest terrain and the entire campaign took place in the snowy mountains would mean the feature would be more useless than a football player who got tapped on the shoulder and started clutching their knees crying in the fetal position, don't worry, you're right, and it is. What isn't situational is just about every...
Soccer, for our American friends who don't know that that football is also called football in every other country but America.
Did you intentionally stop it with his butt out?
No, that
Are you sure?
it was just I'm sure.
Are
It
you
was
gonna
just
get we get to give you a pass on that?
yes, it was unintentional. All right. Shit. Get off my back.
Play the video.
Everything else involving the environment. You can sense what kids are trespassing on your lawn and then not have to worry about the weeds that might otherwise slow you down from catching them and giving them a good whamming. When it comes to flavors of the no really trust us, you can totally use melee and still be a useful class. You have Pokemon Trainer with a gun, like rogues but even dodgier, literally a monster hunter, thinking with portals, and pew 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 pew. Alright, let's address the beholder in the room. The vanilla incarnation of the ranger has a reputation of being less useful when compared to the other classes due to questionable abilities and how they function. That's not to say the class can't be useful or powerful in the right circumstances, but some consider the ranger's situational and sometimes underpowered features to leave something to be desired. However, there's nothing wrong about talking to your DM about changing how certain skills work, if that happens to be the case, so that you can have more fun at your role-playing table. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's not about how many numbers you can do to the bad guys, but whether or not you can shoot spikes out of the ground while firing bolts from your heavy crossbow atop a feathered velociraptor. And now you know how to play Ranger. You're welcome.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important thing about D&D that he just mentioned, with being able to talk to your D&D about changing things. Because a lot of time DMs will
be a little lenient with
They'll
stuff
be a little bit
because
lenient.
it's all about the enjoyment of the game. It doesn't necessarily have to be the you're...
and if you want to model your character after a specific character, just because that's what a lot of people do. It's
a good way to get started.
My first character was an elf ranger. He was fucking Legolas.
Yeah.
He was There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He was, but it
just talk to your DM.
Talk to your DM,
because...
and they might say no, but they may also say but let's do this instead.
Right, and it's all about having
it fits better
fun
with
in the game,
with the region we're in.
Yeah,
because obviously something in Taldore isn't going to be the same as something in maybe a homebrew continent.
Right. Taldore is the Critical Role world. If you haven't seen Critical Role, it's referenced quite often in the D&D world. Right.
It's realistically one of the most popular ones to date.
Yeah. It's DM'd by Matt Mercer. If you play Overwatch, he's McCree. So that's a good way to know who that guy is.
Critical Role is essentially just a bunch of voice actors playing D&D.
Yeah.
Like Travis Willingham, who was Colonel Mustang in Full Metal Alchemist, Sam Riegel, Laura Bailey.
Sam Riegel was, I believe, Donatello in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated show. I'm pretty sure he was Donatello.
Yeah, and Laura Bailey's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
they're all very popular voice actors. Like the only more popular they could get is probably like Sean Schemmel and.
They have guest hosts all the time on there too. Like Chris Hardwick's been on there. He's hilarious.
Yeah, and like Chris Sabat if they were to have him on full time. But anyway, they did animated intros for, because I believe that they created a Kickstarter to animate their campaign. I don't remember exactly, but they did animated intros essentially for each campaign.
Gotcha.
So we're going to look at those eventually.
Perfect.
So next up we have Rogue.
Ever since I was a child, I had to grow up on the streets, wrestling alley bears for food, and
I never wrestled
for
alley.
my own freedom.
My character never wrestled alley
bears. I knew I couldn't trust anyone but myself. The only thing for sure was that I had to find the monsters who put me there, to exact my revenge, and finally put my restless hunger for blood at ease.
So is that why you're standing in the corner of a tavern conspicuously?
That's something deeply
That's the Puffin Force guy.
Yeah.
For you to find out.
His videos are
but
funny
I doubt
too.
you'd understand all the pain and suffering I've had to endure to...
All right then, I'll see you later.
Wait, no, you were supposed to be deeply interested and ask me more about my backstory. You know what? I'm tired of being another cog in the machine of an adventuring party. I'm going off on my own, following my own creed, and doing what needs to be done. That's right, I'm going rogue.
Do you get it?
Rogues are the sneaky, savvy, skilly-willy utility monkeys of the Forgotten Realms, and the best pick if you're a backseat gamer since it lets you interrupt someone trying their best because they weren't doing it right. However, if you want to Mary Sue it up even more than you already are, you also get expertise so that you can upgrade those proficiencies to anime protagonist levels of ridiculous. Now I know what you're thinking, this sounds a lot like Bard, and while that's partly true, the difference is rogues aren't automatically assumed to be the comic relief.
Instead, they're deep, dark, and brooding, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, holidays excluded, because who could be grumpy on Christmas?
The other main difference is their unique combat feature, the sneak attack, and because the names in D&D are always inaccurate, you don't actually have to be low to the ground and covered in shit to deal the sneak attack bonus damage, but rather anytime the enemy's just not feeling up to it today and just wants to get it over with. This means if the enemy's being flanked, or if they're laying prone on the ground, or they just bragged about how high their IQ is, you know, things that would make them really easy to stab. You are, incidentally, not very easy to stab, since you have a whopping 4 goddamn features dedicated to make you more difficult to pin down than figuring out if that teasing banter you had with your friend actually hurt their feelings or not. You can dodge when it's your turn, dodge when it's not your turn, dodge a giant ball of fire, and even dodge having a...
That kind of stuff, typically, as far as the witty banter with your friends and you can't figure out whether it hurt their feelings or not, that typically only happens when you first are getting to know somebody.
Or if you do it in a very untimely way.
Yeah.
Like, they're about to tell you their dog died, and you just made a joke about their dog.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I went there. Pretty dark.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from this, so I'm just going to casually take a drink of this.
Yeah, we're going to just continue.
pay the bill on a first date. One especially unique trait of the Rogue is their exclusive language, Thieves Can't. Thieves Can't what? I don't have the slightest clue, because it allows you to say a whole bunch of jargon that somehow translates into a completely different sentence. Timmy's having tea with the local blacksmith actually means let's go to the temple and steal some of the cleric's donations. Speaking of stealing, the thief archetype means you're especially fast at doing thiefy things, like picking locks, chugging potions, and hardcore parkour. Assassin makes your stabs extra stabby, and you can stab while disguising yourself as a child you saw who you can point to later and say they did it. Arcane Trickster basically turns you into a bard, except less talented or attractive, and allows you to hocus pocus somebody's wallet from 3 miles away. Mastermind is straight up Sherlock Holmes, complete with the assholery and catchy theme music. Swashbuckler won't stop bugging people to 1v1 them. And Scout, which is yet another better alternative to Ranger. Your job is to make sure everybody knows how much better you are at doing everything, because when the going gets tough, you know the party's going to turn to you one day and ask you to please pick the lock on the door to the king's castle because the bard accidentally kicked the guard in the genitals trying to seduce them. And you'll gladly show them all the skills you've learned from growing up in such a harsh and unforgiving environment that was once your home, forcing you to learn questionable means and morally ambivalent beliefs in order to survive. Just try not to cut yourself on that edge while you're at it. And now you know how to play Rogue, you're welcome.
Let me preface this with, I did not intentionally kill your rogue character.
Yes, yeah, I was unable to attend a session. He played as my character, and he died.
Yeah.
That's
definitely...
That's kind of... To be completely honest, like, that's kind of... Like, if my character were to actually die, I would want him to stay dead. Because it's... I mean, I know you have Revivify.
I do now.
Well, you do now, but, like, I guess I'm more of the person that likes things to matter. You know? Like, deaths to matter in a game.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily that they wouldn't matter necessarily. It would just be the fact that...
Like, I don't want him to die because I like...
It wasn't your time.
Because I like my backstory. I like, I like all the things surrounding him. He's an easy character to play because I don't have
Barbarians are easy as shit to roleplay.
Yeah, I don't have to do much. Like things like Rogue, Paladin, really anything else that's not a barbarian is for like the veteran role players. The people that have been doing it for a while and kind of understand how everything works.
Or just people who don't really care about the fighting aspect of it.
Yeah. Or, they want to focus on being this character, not just...
They want to escape their own miserable lives.
Correct.
Which is why everyone starts playing D&D.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hesitant at first. I didn't know what to expect. I know you liked it. We've got a good group of guys.
For the most part.
For the most part. There's a couple that are...
You know who we're talking about.
Yeah. Alright. Well, like we said, go like, share, and subscribe to us and to JoCat for more content. Anything else?
Don't play a ranger.
See ya.
See ya.